I'm a single woman in my 40s who just finished chemotherapy for stage 3 breast cancer. I will be having a double mastectomy and reconstruction soon. I am proud of how far I have come, and I know my body will carry scars, but they are a reminder that I am still here. So I am genuinely curious, would you date a woman who has been through that? Do reconstructed breasts or visible scars change how you see someone? Story 1. Congratulations on how far you have come. It is the owner of the breasts I would be attracted to, not just the breasts. Story 2. There are really shallow people in the world, but anyone who learns to respect you for who you are will only see you, and that is what you deserve. Do not worry, and best of luck with your recovery. Story 3. It is not a big deal, but maybe do not judge the person too harshly if they have a moment of shock the first time they see them. It is not something you see every day. Story 4. It sounds like you are afraid that men will not like you. I am sorry you have to carry that fear. That is not a fear someone who just survived cancer should have to worry about, and yet here we are. I do have good news, though. There are men who will want to love you just as you are, as long as you try to understand them. I cannot take away the fear, but I can tell you that companionship, mutual understanding, and a shared desire for the future are more important than the loss of breasts. Story 5. With plastic surgery, it is always about the reason for getting it, at least for me. Your reason is the best one I can think of. Congratulations on beating cancer. And your scars only show you are a survivor. Who could hold that against you? If anything, I think it would be the opposite, admiring that you defeated it. Story 6. I think you would have to be very insensitive not to date someone because they needed a double mastectomy. Story 7. I am not a fan of implants to make breasts larger, but in your case, I would be grateful to be with a person who has gone through all of your suffering. Story 8. My ex had extensive spinal surgery in her youth and had a very obvious scar the entire length of her spine. I saw it a lot, and it never bothered me because it was part of her and part of her story. That perspective comes from a place of emotional investment. Visual imperfections tend to be endearing to people who care about you but can be off-putting to people who do not. See it as a built-in screening tool for men with character who are invested. Story 9. I like breasts of all shapes and sizes. That also includes those that were rebuilt due to cancer or were affected by surgery. The scars should be a reminder of how strong a person you are. Story 10. I would date someone who had reconstructive surgery after cancer treatments, and I would date someone with no breasts due to mastectomies caused by cancer. I find it a bit repulsive when people get purely cosmetic augmentations just because they want bigger breasts or because the size is not perfectly symmetrical. That suggests to me that there are also some mental and personality-related factors that I am simply not interested in. Reconstructive surgeries are more of a quest to regain a sense of normalcy. Because the intent behind them is different, I view them differently. Story 11. This is something that I would have sneered at in my 20s but have done a complete 180-degree turn as I have gotten older. Nobody gets out of life alive, and we pick up a lot of baggage and scars along the way. We do our best to take care of ourselves, but entropy is the undefeated, undisputed champion of the universe. I have my own scars too. Story 12. My wife had a double mastectomy and decided not to go for reconstruction due to the risks. I don't see her any differently, and in fact think the scars, which have obviously become less visible over time and will continue to do so, are part of her story and her journey. She is a survivor and she is alive. Good luck and all the best. Story 13. They will not see your chest unless you are getting in bed together beforehand. If they do end up developing feelings for you, you can explain the situation. Story 14. What you want is a man who is dating you, not your breasts. The former will think that you are awesome. The latter is dodging a bullet. Story 15. I would not care one bit. Actually, there are some advantages to be had. If they were large before, you might feel some back pain relief. No bras anymore. Never have to worry about the deflated egg in a tube sock look. I know some men are very focused on breasts, but they don't talk or think, they have no personality. They are hidden 99% of the day. And frankly, they serve very little practical purpose in intimacy. A nice perky pair is fun to look at and play with, sure, But do I actually need them in a relationship? Absolutely not. Virtually every other part of your body is more important, especially at 40, when the likelihood of needing them for breastfeeding is much lower. And even then, formula works. Both my children were formula fed. So all that to say, don't sweat it. No decent man is going to judge you for this, whether reconstructed or removed. Someone who is hung up on it is not worth a relationship anyway. Story 16. If I were dating, it certainly would not be a deal breaker for me. I really believe in the idea that we are each perfectly imperfect. Given your story, you seem like a fighter who also has a good perspective on things. That would be a good trait in a prospective partner. Story 17. Yes, totally, it wouldn't bother me at all. I dated a woman who was diagnosed with terminal cancer a few weeks after we met. We had the best of times, and I miss her a lot. I still think of her often, years later. I would take a few scars if she were still here today. Story 18. That has never been a problem. If I am dating a woman, I focus on how she treats me, how well we connect, and how compatible we are. Also, congratulations on making it this far. Story 19. Absolutely, though it all depends on who she is. Whether she chose to undergo reconstructive surgery or not, I would be interested in her, the person. The fact that she went through all that would only endear her to me. Nothing is sexier to me than confidence. So even if she opted against mastectomy and were to confidently bear the scars because she beat cancer, I would be over the moon. And if she was struggling with her confidence, I would do what I could to help her find it. Congratulations on finishing your chemotherapy. You have already gone through a lot more than many men who would hesitate because of what you have experienced. Find someone who sees you. Story 20. I would feel great about it. Do not worry about the scars. They are a reminder that you defeated cancer. Anyone who has an issue with it is not worth your time anyway. Story 21. If you are a kind, caring person, I will nuzzle those reconstructed breasts as if they were your own homegrown and love them just as much. Story 22. I'm not a fan of implants as a rule. They just don't feel the same. If I were to match with a woman who had reconstructive surgery due to a medical issue such as cancer and everything else aligned, then yes, no problem at all. Dating her would not be affected by this, and it's not a deal breaker in this situation. I have preferences, but I'm not an asshole and can see all the reasons why this was necessary for her post-cancer. If it were purely for cosmetic and vanity reasons or body image issues, then no. I am not interested in someone with ongoing body image issues. But you don't seem like you are in the second category. Wanting to have breasts again after surgery and cancer is completely different from a purely cosmetic procedure, in my honest opinion. Story 23. I would not care at all. I am too grown up for all that. There are no women who do not have imperfections. Those are girls. Story 24. For most breast surgery questions, I am completely against them. However, medical procedures are the one exception I have. In your case, it does not harm the decision-making in the slightest. I would say, though, as a preference, just do not go overboard with it. Story 25. 42 minutes here. I started dating a really wonderful woman a few months ago. She has some medical issues which are lifelong. She had to have several surgeries on her breasts. I think she may have been a little self-conscious, as she mentioned it several times before we were ever intimate. I find her scars to be incredibly beautiful. They are a testament to what she endured, her strength, and perseverance. If she did not have those scars, there is a high chance I would not have her in my life. Story 26. I dated someone once who had been hit by a car and essentially put back together. She had long scars across multiple parts of her body and some scattered additional ones. It was incredibly improbable that she survived and made a full recovery. She was still a very attractive woman, and that was not just my opinion. Do scars improve your looks? Usually, no. But the reality is that most of us see the big picture and not tiny details. It is about whether we like the overall appearance, not whether a very specific thing is imperfect. While some people have an issue with cosmetic surgery out of insecurity about their natural appearance, I do not know anyone who objects to surgery that restores you to your natural state or something close to it after an accident or medical issue. Story 27. Gay man here, so I would not date a woman. But any man who would not date a woman who has survived and thrived despite scars and reconstruction does not deserve your time. I am glad you are doing well. Story 28. It should not matter. If it does matter to him, then he is not worth your time. Good luck on your journey. Story 29. I have only been with one woman who had reconstructive surgery, but since I am not focused on breasts, it made no difference to me. Story 30. Scars are a part of a person. As long as she does not let the scars dictate how she lives, and now knows that she just needs to go out and enjoy life because life is short, then it should not matter. I do hope that while she understands that life is short, she will do everything she can to stay healthy, including maintaining mental health. Perseverance is an attractive trait. A scar is a sign of persevering, so keep persevering. Story 31. I am dating someone who is 7 years further down the road than you are. She is fantastic, healthy, and looks wonderful. Do not worry. You are going to be fine. Good luck, and I wish you all the love in the world. Story 32. Breasts are not what make a woman. Character, strength, and a little sweetness do. If my wife were to ever lose them, it would not change who she is. Keep on keeping on. Story 33. I just want to say something I really mean. You are a warrior. You faced something that takes many, including my own mother, and you did not just survive, you fought and you won. That is not something to feel self-conscious about. That is something to stand tall in. Your scars are your story. Even the parts you might feel insecure about are not flaws. They are proof of your strength, your courage, and, more importantly, your life. To me, you are someone to admire. Feel proud of what you have overcome. Story 34. Yes, I would date you. Scars are part of life. You tend to get them for various reasons as you go through life. A mature man knows this. As long as he gets to touch them, I am sure he will be just fine with them. Story 35. I don't know how much of your cancer-fighting journey you have left, but I am so proud of you and happy to hear you are done with chemotherapy. Good luck and keep fighting. As for the scars and surgery, I would not bat an eye. Story 36. I have been dating a woman for over 4 years who had reconstructive breast surgery after cancer. I do not mind, and I am sure there are many other men who do not mind either. Story 37. I am already attracted to you for your attitude, your strength, and your courage to face what you are dealing with. I feel like I would want to take care of your body in the way you most need, having gone through this. Certainly, reconstructive surgery would not deter me. Story 38. No issue at all. No issue with your breasts, no issue with scars, no issue with any of it. I do have a fear of cancer since my mother died of it, so it might be hard for me to get seriously involved with a cancer survivor because I would always fear remission. Story 39. I do not think most people would care about scars. Some people might prefer large breasts, so it might matter to them, but there are also many people who like the exact opposite. I would not worry about it too much. Story 40. If I were still dating, mastectomy and implant scars would not be a deal breaker or a turnoff. You being 40, though, just kidding. Have confidence in your journey. It is an attractive quality. Story 41. Go on YouTube and search Tim Minchin Boobs. Watch him sing the song Fuck I Love Boobs, though. This is a pure expression of a man's thoughts on breasts. How they look, feel, move, or whatever does not change that. Story 42. I don't love implants, but it wouldn't be a deal breaker at all. Fake breasts are better than no breasts, in my opinion. Story 43. Honestly, once I fall for a woman, it does not matter. Every scar has a story, and I want to hear them all while holding her in my arms every night. Story 44. You have my full support and admiration for your strength during such a difficult time in your life. Story 45. I mean, aren't the scars the same as anyone else who has implants? Anyway, I would be empathetic that they had cancer, but that's it. Also, men have much lower standards for breasts than women do. I have had a couple of girls complain about hating their breasts, and I thought they were amazing. Story 46. It would not bother me. In fact, I would see it as a badge of strength. Just about everyone probably knows at least one female who has gone through breast cancer and understands how difficult it can be. The treatment and recovery are very challenging as well. You are a very strong person who has survived a terrible disease, and you should be proud of what you accomplished, not ashamed of the physical proof of what you endured. This is the mental part of it for me if I were involved with you. On the physical side, a scar would not bother me at all. My wife had 2 cesarean sections and has scars to show it on her belly. Those are rather large and very easy for me to see, but they do not bother me. They do not reduce my attraction to her. They do not repel me when I see or touch the area. And the scars do not occupy my mind with wishes that they were not on her body. It has never occurred to me that they are an imperfection. Instead, they are just like any other bump, bruise, or feature of a body. This would be the physical side for me. I can understand why you asked the question. You will be going through an extreme procedure after a disease that ravaged your body. Stage 3 is very scary. The scars may bring that experience back to your mind. But I hope these thoughts do not linger and that you do not dwell on the negative too much. Maybe you are just curious without any negative thoughts, which would be great. But if you are afraid of how men will react, I hope my answer and others can dissuade you of that fear. Yes, some men may not like it, but my honest feeling is that most men will not be bothered by it and, in fact, will see you as a stronger and better person who survived this experience. Story 47. Scars make no difference, and you can include all the things you see as imperfections when you look in the mirror. What is more important is how you treat them. If you keep telling your partner not to look at them because you assume they won't like them, despite being told you look amazing, over time it becomes tiresome. The reality is they are breasts. They are breasts on the person you want to be naked with. Scarring, size, symmetry, and all the other things women worry about regarding them do not enter into the equation. They are breasts on the person you want to be naked with. Story 48. That would not be of any importance. The breast does not define the person. I would be proud to be with that person. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.